September 10th, 2012, I started my military career by stepping on the yellow footprints at Parris Island, South Carolina for the Marine Corps. I became a platoon guide squad leader by separating myself as a leader, and every week we would get mail. And the mail we would get was like a staple for us. Anybody who's ever been in the military, you know when you're in boot camp, like getting mail was just absolutely amazing, and I wasn't getting any. And every week I didn't get any mail, I would also get some comments from my drill instructors telling me that, Mota, I guess people don't love you back home. Mota, your support system is shitty, huh? Mota, I guess your old girl's cheating on you. Mota, I guess you really never had any friends. You grew up a loner, huh? And I started to feed into this narrative. And I started to tell myself when I would lay in my rack at night, nobody loves me. Nobody cares about me. Nobody cares that I'm here. I'm worthless and I should probably just quit anyways. There was a day when we were told we were going to run a mile on a dirt track. It had rained lightly the night before. The ground was very much still dry, had rocks, debris on it, the perfect conditions for running a mile, right? We get out there, our drill instructor's yelling at us and he tells us to get on the ground and we're gonna army crawl. Well, you do what you're told. So that's what we did. We started army crawling. And we're sitting there on our ground, on our stomachs, and we're scraping across the dirt track. And I remember my arms bleeding, my stomach getting all scuffed up, and I'm pulling rocks out from under my blouse. And I remember getting halfway through thinking to myself, like, I want to quit. I'm done. I don't want to be here anymore. I don't want to be here anymore. And he's yelling at me, and he sees it. Mota, quit. Quit. They don't love you. You don't have support. You don't have any friends. Quit. No one's going to care that you're here. No one's going to care that you quit. We don't want you here. Go. And we had a quote on a whiteboard that popped into my head. And since then, I've never let it go. And it says, my mind and my heart will carry my body when my limbs are too weak. And I remember I started screaming that. Screaming it while army crawling around this dirt track. My mind and my heart will carry my body when my limbs are too weak. My mind and my heart will carry my body when my limbs are too weak. And my drill instructor's yelling at me, Mota, shut the hell up. Shut up. Stop. You better cut it out. And he's looking around. He's trying to see if anybody else is watching. And then he just stops because the whole platoon starts. And we were split up, so there's probably about 12 of us. And he was baffled, breathtaking, and he's absolutely confused. And we are moving, digging. And we finished a mile crawling around this track. And I remember getting to my squad bay that night, and it's Mel night. And I had no emotion at this point towards Mel. It's like, well, I'm not gonna get it anyways. Didn't even think about it. And he walks up behind me and he drops a bag in my lap. A bag. And he says, I guess somebody does care about you. And it was all the mail that I've had from the very beginning, and they were holding it. I don't say this because it's some really cool story that makes me seem like a badass. No, absolutely not. I say it because how often are you feeding the narrative other people are telling you about yourself? How often are you fueling that? And you are believing something someone else says about you. It's not true. Don't fuel it. Don't feed into it. That is not your thoughts. You know you better than anybody else. Your mind and your heart will carry your body when your limbs are too weak. Don't forget that. All love.